today's topic, how to create a healthier company for 2021. Honestly speaking, there couldn't be a topic of more interest right now. No, talk about health, how to be healthy, how to be a healthier company, how to create a healthier society. Now we have seen that in 2020, the health of people affects the health of economies and never seen like before. No, so this is something that also gives impetus to say, how can we make companies more healthier? No, or not just talking about more sustainable, but let's talk about health, because that definitely includes more, but also includes the term of sustainability. So this is the topic for today's quick presentation. So when we look back, although we don't want to look back, but let's move forward. Now, when we look back a bit in the beginning of 2020, we talked about the Green Deal and climate change, and in Australia, we had the big fires. Here in Canary Islands, the year before, we had fires ourselves. We had been evacuated. It was quite terrifying, and all these topics were on January's agenda. But then everything moved to COVID, the picture we see in the middle, and it's dominating everything. No, but let's keep in mind that maybe it's just the first step. And you see on the right-hand picture, this one of the pictures that is also circulating on social media. Now that you have COVID, but then you have the crisis, and then climate change. So in the end, let's look forward and ask ourselves, so then how can we create healthier companies? And let's talk about 2021, because we are still in the beginning of the year. So this is a great way to start. Don't get afraid from all the text on the slides. We will make available the slides for you in the end, so you can read up a bit more. So we have just quick arguments, and then I want to show you a tool that can actually help us to create this health change of a company, or make companies more sustainable, more systematically speaking. Now I will just present you a couple of arguments, and you might ask yourself, how are they connected? So at the end, I will tell you the secret, how are they connected. So one argument definitely is to look at your staff, and how can your company create healthier relationships with your employees. So we talk from a human perspective more, and seeing your staff as equals, like as peers, on the eyesight, so to say, and not top down, and also create a more open culture in the company. And also already going also into the emotional level, we will see that later on too. Here I have in bold, being empathetic, which means thinking about this person's situation and trying to find solutions together, like you would do maybe with a friend. So why should we treat our employees or colleagues different as friends? No, we want to prosper as persons and have a healthy environment. And I'm in a healthy environment if I have healthy relationships. So this is the idea, creating healthy employee relationships, and not talking just about a contractual situation, but talking about relationships. Nowadays, everything is digital. Kim even mentioned it in the beginning, and I've been working remotely for a long time now, and I'm not surprised about the change, but yet nowadays everybody is going digital and not really knowing maybe what are the backfalls, although we have lots of benefits, but what could be the backfalls, or at least things that we should have in mind. Spending too much time on the screen obviously is not a healthy thing. So what can a company do to improve our employee situation in times of COVID and remote working? Are there guidelines sent out to say, hey, look outside the window every 20 minutes for a certain while so your eye muscles relax, for instance? Good tip. Who's telling me? Or have a light room, or have ergonomic furniture when we're talking about working at your desk all day, or things like that. So these are kind of things to have in mind now when we're talking about corporate social responsibility. We also have a digital corporate social responsibility, if you want to say so. So what is the company doing now, and especially in times of COVID, to give employees also kind of a digital detox? What are our ideas to detox from this whole digital world? Not saying it's a bad thing, just saying we have to have in mind that this situation causes also some physical consequences. Talking about general and emotional health, it's recommendable, of course, especially in times of now, healthy nutrition, fitness. So what can a company do? Co-organize fitness events, help the employees now to stay fit at home, gives them advices. There's lots of material out there, but someone has to know, how can I make physical activity in my home if I'm on lockdown, for example, no? And I have to work. So there's lots of techniques that we can use. For example, trampoline, and even tested by NASA, is super good exercise. You can look it up. You will be surprised. There's even articles on PubMed, the platform for scientific research in medicine. What you can also do for your staff, if you want to, is fruit baskets locally, even support local farming, even organic, and by that have a nice add-on for your employees, plus creating some kind of employee branding too on that scale. So creating many benefits on many aspects with just a small gesture of a small fruit basket every week. Doesn't cost you lots of money, but has a high impact from many aspects. So simple things we can do. Talking about healthy products, we see the circular economy will be coming. It's already in place. They have new guidelines for non-toxic materials. Everything has to be circular. So asking ourselves, what are my products made of? How can I make my whole environment of production and services healthier from their perspective? How can I become more circular? Implement less toxic materials, or maybe also less toxic habits. There's nice toolkits out there to have some kind of circularity checkup to see what areas can be improved, giving your your current business models, but also looking forward what other business models could complement my current services to create a more circular company. Circular means more natural, means more balanced, more healthy. We have seen in COVID that supply chains broke down. And when we're talking about pathologies, that could be a pathology of the current system. So what can we change to create a healthier supply chain? Well, we can localize supply chains on the other hand, but also implement certain criteria along my supply chain. It's like voting with my money, like how me as a consumer, I vote with my money. As a company choosing my suppliers, I vote over impact. There's high impact over my supply chain, so I have high leverage to one way make my activities healthier by having better products, better services, better relationships. So, and as you know, when relationships are bad with your friends, with your neighbor, with your community, you feel kind of sick. So we are also how we interact with other people, right? So why shouldn't we apply the same principle to our suppliers? I think we've seen the consequences of the current supply chain management and what happened when a big crisis is coming. Maybe people start running and fighting over shelves. Just to keep that picture in mind. So ask yourself, how can we create a healthier supply chain? Talking about, of course, about healthier finances. Yeah, choosing ethical banks, choosing to increase your equity shares, and reinvesting also in the stock of your company, in the actives of your balance sheet, whether it's the furniture or the housing or the offices. All these kind of arrangements, they make a difference. It's also an investment into your staff if you create healthier spaces. So this is also a way how to create a healthier stock of your company. Finally, we want to be integrated into an ecosystem, and an ecosystem is only as healthy as all parts of it. So it doesn't matter if I'm healthy, but my society around me is unhealthy. So we also should look, what can we do around my doorstep? What local associations can I support? What relationships can I build there? How can I invite the community into my company to co-create maybe? We are promoting permaculture design on many aspects, which focus a lot, of course, on agriculture, but not only agriculture, it can be applied to everything. So it's also about regeneration, healing of soil, of land, of companies, of people. So I strongly recommend to have a look into permaculture design too, how it can help your company to become healthier. So like I mentioned, now I want to give you the synthesis of this whole thing, also to start concluding. We are using the Common Good balance sheet, and we're also promoting it because it's a great tool to manage exactly that change, to become healthier, to become more ethical, to become more sustainable. And you see them in the middle, the big question, no? How can I create healthier relationships with a specific stakeholder group? And from there on, ask yourself, how can I provide a healthier relationships with my suppliers, with my staff, with my community, with my clients? And this is a tool that actually helps us manage that change. Behind that, every field you have indicators that can then guide your company's decision, your strategy making. Of course, it's made for auditing, for certification too, but I see it more as an organizational change tool. So I strongly recommend to have a look into that. Now to keep concluding, because I see I'm already 20 seconds over, there's interesting literature on how emotions have a big role to play into this whole change management. If change can be implemented towards a more sustainable future. They found out that emotions are key, and I can only underline that in my personal experience in projects. Have a look also, and now I'm almost finished, into good practice from the common good economy. The link is given here. I also like to point out to this company. Have a look on their website, what they're doing. Great example for common good practice. Just quick call to actions at the end. We have a club from the company. It's free to join. We have a webinar coming up next week too. And I invite you to have a look at the ECG Good Practice website. And from that side, I say just thank you well, gracias, grazie, and I'm looking forward to hear the next speaker. Thank you, Kim, and inviting me.
Thank you for such an interesting presentation. I mentioned beforehand that I would send out an email afterwards. I would suggest, and I think you all agree, that I'm definitely including this presentation with the links and everything else within that email. We've had one question, and I do think we still, because my welcome was very short today. So John has asked, Philip, that's a question for you. If Clubhouse, the new social media hype, let's call it, only available on iPhone for now, would be a good way for companies to encourage staff to get off screens and then, run meetings through audio.
I mean, technically, I guess so. I'm still a bit upset that I can't use it yet because I'm not a Mac user. So I've been invited also to give speeches, and I can't do it yet. So I think, hey, it's a great tool, but it's not inclusive. So from that perspective, I don't like it, just because it's not inclusive. But in general, it has great potential. But yet, I'm a scientist, so I would say there's not enough data to give a reliable answer.
Good answer, and it's true. I'm betting they will make it inclusive. They keep on saying it's still in like the beta phase. For me personally, I find it all just a little bit overwhelming right now. So let's move on to our next speaker. We've invited two brands today. And the first one would be Adam Kubalek, the names today. I very much wonder if I'm pronouncing everything all right. From Sweden, he's the founder of one of Sweden's most modern personal trainer schools and currently runs his own coaching business. What he basically does, he helps busy but frustrated service entrepreneurs to make a living doing what they love and living the good life doing it. That sounds absolutely awesome. So Adam, take it away. Adam, are you there?
Okay, I'm here, but I can't start my camera. I might be
we had a little bit of a technical issue here, I think.
There we go.
Okay.
There we go. I'm here. Sorry for the delay, and thank you very much for the presentation. I was panicking over here, so I didn't actually hear everything. But since it was about me, I think I know the gist. So thank you very much. So I'm super honored to be, one of the guests for this beautiful networking event that Kim has put together, and I'm really, really grateful for the work that Canary Green has been doing with this, and John Beckley handling the technical pieces in the background. As Kim said, I'm Adam Kubalek, or Kawalec, if you pronounce it in the Polish way, and I work as a life and business coach. And what I tend to do, what always been my slogan, is sustainable change, which is quite interesting then to be able to come on here and talk about this. I say sustainable change because I talk about lasting change. And I say lasting change because it is really about reconditioning, reprogramming the way we think and behave. So it's not about quick fixes. It's not so much, I'm actually going to say this is what I usually say. It's not so much about installing new apps or programs on your phone or your desktop. It's about upgrading the whole OS. Meaning that sometimes when you do that, when you upgrade your whole OS, you realize there are some apps already built into that new version of your operating system. And that's kind of what I do with my clients. Now, when it comes to healthy and sustainable change or coaching, I often focus on energy management versus time management, which is a big thing usually in our business, that we manage our time. And I say, flip that around and focus on managing your energy. What that means is really about tracking where throughout the day your energy is, and match different types of tasks or assignments based on your energy levels. Okay, so I've got only a few more seconds. I'm going to say the final thing. Life-work balance, probably a hot topic these days. So when it comes to that, I want to say balance is really, really tricky. I don't think it actually exists, other than it's a decision that we make in the moment. So if anything, I saw that Philip, he had the first picture in his presentation said mindfulness. And I was like, yes, great. That's what it is to me. Work-life balance is actually about making the decision to, when you're working, work. When you're not working, don't work. And I think right now with COVID and working remotely, working from home, that is a challenge. So that's the other thing that I often do for my clients. The thing I try to do for myself is, when I'm working, and I'm focusing on that one thing. All right, Kim, thank you very much for having me.
Thank you so much, Adam. Well, by now, I'm a big fan of everything mindfulness and so on. So I fully agree. And I agree on that first picture as well. It was kind of like, oh, yay! So if anybody should have any questions for any of the speakers, please use, oh, there you go. Can you explain OS and app again? Do you help people to install apps? Adam, that's a question for you.
Yeah. No, Andrea, I do not. So to me, it's really about, and it's just a story about how apps and programs can be the typical strategies or the new shining objects that we might be presented with all the time. We read something and we go like, oh, I'm going to try that. We hear something and we go, oh, I'm going to try that. There's always something new that comes around. And instead of trying these new techniques, I say, let's work on the insight. Let's work on the operating system and up-level that one. Because as we do, a lot of times, as I said, we discover we don't need that new app. We don't need the next productivity hack or solution. It came with the OS, the upgrading of the operating system.
Awesome. And I agree, once again, I do. Although it is sometimes challenging to resist the temptation. Anyway, we're going to move on to the second invited brand and last speaker for today, which is Maria Luisa Garcia. She will be speaking in representation of Diamond Resorts in general, which is a worldwide vacation company, and she herself is the resort manager of the Royal Tenerife Country Club and Sunset View Club. And I can't wait, because I was looking not only for people who teach and coach, but also to speak to a company who actually have implemented so many fantastic things within their company. So Maria, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Kim. Good afternoon, everyone. As Kim said, it is a pleasure for me to take part in this webinar representing Diamond Resort, a worldwide vacation company. What defines Diamond is the outstanding service we provide, great accommodation, but above all, Diamond is committed to sustainability. And this is how we understand a healthy company. Let me introduce you some of the eco-friendly and environmental achievements. All our new appliances in the apartments are energy efficient. All the resorts have LED lights installed. And we've introduced a new housekeeping system and equipment that saves water by avoiding the use of traditional mops. This helps also body posture while cleaning apartments. But I think that what makes us really, really special is that we engage guests, but not only guests, team members also, in sustainability through our training, through our challenges, and through our activities during the whole year. We even have environmental ambassadors in each resort. So I would like to share with you an example of our sustainability efforts in 2019 and in 2020. We installed around nearly 1,500 water filters in the apartments. So by doing this, we've saved 500 kilograms plastic water bottles that we usually for guests on arrival. We encourage guests not to buy any plastic bottles, etc. There has been a significant decrease in single-use plastic from 2017, 47%, which is fantastic. It's absolutely great. So to raise consciousness around the use of water, we also signed a collaboration with We Are Water Foundation in 2018 to promote the project Let's Make a Deal. As you can see on the screen, this has resulted in nearly 2 million liters of water saved, and also in a reduction in electricity. Our staff activity was Aquanauts. This is educational and fun workshops to increase awareness about water waste, about the importance of clean water in the world. In addition to this, we donated 40,000 euros to 3 We Are Water projects we have: Guatemala, India, and Indonesia. And this is in order to help bring water to those in need. So, in fact, one of the environmental ambassadors will be visiting India as soon as it's possible. So basically, because we have little time for this presentation, our fundamental commitment in Diamond can be followed on social media, following the hashtag DiamondGoGreen. So please don't miss the experience to stay with us in Diamond, a responsible holiday destination. Thank you very much to everyone involved. Thank you, Kim. Thank you, Canary Green.